Hi everyone, Matt here from WorkStory, here to give you a quick walkthrough of the onboarding process of everything from getting connected with an invitation from us to integrating with Microsoft Teams or Slack or another tool, doing some example reviews and giving feedback, as well as taking a quick look at your dashboard to see what information will be available to you as a result of the WorkStory process. So to kick things off, we have an email invitation here. All I have to do once I receive it is click accept invitation. Doing so brings me to this screen, which asks me simply to set a password, which I'll do so quickly. And from here, I'm presented with a quick 2-minute overview video. I highly recommend you check this out. Just does a really good job of providing an overview of the WorkStory experience and why we do things the way we do to help with performance management. From here, the final step will be to select your communication preference. So wherever you live, wherever you spend the most amount of time communicating with your team on a daily basis, that's where we want to meet you. So in this case, we're going to do Microsoft Teams. I'll click continue, and you're provided with 3 quick steps. I'll do the actual walkthrough just so you can see what it looks like. But once you're done, you simply click continue and then enter WorkStory, and we'll take you to your dashboard. The steps to get started with Microsoft Teams are relatively simple. Part 1 is go to apps. And then from here, you might see WorkStory down here, built for your organization. You can just click add. If not, you can come up here and just search for WorkStory. You'll then see our application here. Click on add again. And then simply send a quick hello to initiate the conversation. Once that happens, you'll get a little pop-up that says, do you want to authenticate? You click on that button. The system will then bring you into WorkStory, as you can see here, and will connect you appropriately as such. And it'll give you a quick confirmation message that you are connected successfully. Now, if you hop into your the actual application and you navigate to Profile Personal Information, you should see Microsoft Teams is connected and is your main communication preference. Now, before we continue, I'm just going to do a very quick example review and example goal update. Okay, so hopping into Microsoft Teams now to do a quick example. So if I'm set to provide input or feedback to fellow team members, this is the main conduit in which that's going to be taking place, just this direct Microsoft Teams chat that we have with you. So if I happen to receive a question, it's really just my job to provide a quick, thoughtful response. We want to be in and out with you guys, not taking up too much of your time. So here's a quick example asking me to evaluate Jamie, a fellow team member, about her ability to foster a productive work environment. So I'll take a second to consider the response. I'll say she's meeting expectations. If for whatever reason I don't feel like I'm able to give good input on this, that's totally cool. You can click the I'm not sure response, and then I'll effectively skip the question without penalizing you in any way. So I'll just say meets expectations, and I'll submit that. It's important to note that Jamie does not know what I've selected here. So with that though, that's why it's so important that we have this step 2, which is please provide some constructive feedback for Jamie or give some examples as to why you answered this question in the way you did. Please be constructive, be honest. We give you some visibility options when you're sharing feedback to make sure you feel comfortable with the feedback that you're actually sharing so that you don't have to worry about, is this person seeing it? Is this person not seeing it? So the name of the game is be as constructive and helpful as you can, because at the end of the day, that'll honestly help them to actually improve over time. So anyway, I'll write a quick response. I'll say, and then I have options in terms of, again, how visible I want this feedback to be. So I can share the comment with Jamie, but they don't know that it's coming from me. They'll simply see what's written and they can use that to improve. I can also share it directly with Jamie's manager. So Jamie doesn't even really know that she's being evaluated or receiving feedback, but the manager is able to go in and see what's being collected and then can translate that if necessary. So I don't mind sharing this with Jamie. I think it's helpful. I'll click submit and I'm done. That's the entire review process. In this case, I'm evaluating Jamie once every 2 weeks, so I'll get another question for her 2 weeks from now. That's the name of the game. Really, whenever you can, provide a quick piece of input. If you can't answer it in the moment, totally cool. You can go back and answer questions later. They'll still hang out here in Teams. This is a quick example of a goal update request. So if I've set a goal that has monthly updates, I'll simply get pinged in here and asked for a quick progress check. So I'll click update goal. It'll say, okay, update the values of the goal. So I'll go, 0 to 50. We're still on track. And then I'll provide a quick response. Then clicking submit. And that's it. That's a goal update. So again, not to make it sound too simple, this Microsoft Teams interaction is really where it all gets done. Now, as this is happening in the background, information is being collected for you, and I'm going to hop into an example of a dashboard to see what the information looks like and what you have access to. So here for Jamie, we have her dashboard and a few tabs that we'll go through. So the main tab is the feedback tab. So this is the feedback that's been collected for Jamie. As Jamie's manager, I have slightly more access than what Jamie has. So in Jamie's perspective here, this is the comment that I had shared, and you can see it doesn't include my name. So if you want to understand what's going on and the feedback that's being collected for you, this is the main place to go. People can always hop in here and add feedback for you as well. If you think someone's did an awesome job on something, really cool or a big campaign lately, you can always hop in and provide input on them here. We also have a performance summary, which is a monthly update as to what's going on. So we help to pull out themes from the feedback based on the goal updates. We'll help to bring to light some things that we might want to be focusing on. Again, we'll do this each month just to save you a little bit of time and understanding. Both you and your manager have access to this. Beyond that, the next tab is analytics. This is just a metrics-based view as to how things are going, how well we're doing. So in this case, we can see that Jamie's meeting expectations. This is based on the last 31 reviews that have been received within this time frame. If I was to adjust the time frame, we would get different results pulled in. So we can see here over the past year, meeting expectations based on 100 reviews. We have a sentiment score here of 74, which is very positive. This is just how positive or negative are people being when they're participating in the process, and a visual representation of my performance or Jamie's performance over time. And then something else to be aware of is this competency breakdown. So this is how well is this person doing in these different areas of performance. Each question that's sent out in Microsoft Teams ties back to one of these specific categories, and we can very clearly see doing well here, maybe not doing so well here. How can I work to improve? Making you sort of an advocate for your own improvement in between more formal conversations, but also you and your manager should always be aligned because you both have access to this. You both have an understanding of this is where I should be focusing my efforts, and then you can talk about that in the next one-on-one conversation. The last tab I'm going to cover, goals tab. So if we're setting goals for ourselves or a manager setting goals for us, this is where that's done. Simply set a goal button here, add all the details, title, description. If we want to tie it to like a team level goal, we can do that. Determine how we're measuring the goal. And then the most important thing is the update frequency. So how often do I want to be asked to provide those progress updates that we did in Microsoft Teams? And then once you're done, simply click create and you're good to go. The goal is automatically scheduled into the process. Now, if you want to view your goal updates, you can always hop in here, click on view, see all the updates that have been collected over the course of the year. And then if you need to manually add an update, you can also just write that in. You don't have to wait for the next opportunity to come around. So anyway, there's a bunch of other stuff. You can always go in, give feedback to each other, request feedback for yourself. But I just wanted to give you a very quick overview of how to get up and running and then what you can expect as the team starts to get going and providing feedback for one another. If anyone has any questions, please do communicate them back to us. We're always here to help you out and make sure that you guys get the most out of WorkStory. Thanks so much.